afraid, I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand. Everybody, come take my hand, come take my hand. We'll walk this road together through the storm, whatever weather, cold or warm. Just letting you know that you're not alone.
You're listening to America Off the Rails with Double R, right here on the Common Ground Media Network. The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.
Alright folks, good morning and happy Monday. This is of course Double R and you are listening to America Off the Rails. In case you missed that nifty new intro, we have been picked up by a talk station. Granted, it's a new talk station and I'm helping them build it, and it is still a streaming platform, or will be when we get it going. But it's also attached to K98FM.com, which, as some of you in the internet radio fandom know, that is a rather well-known name. So at this point, we've been noticed by some pretty big people. And even though I tell you guys almost every time that I do these shows that, as far as I'm concerned, they're not ready for prime time, somebody disagreed with me. So we got our shot. We're going to take it. Hopefully we get where we want to go. But I'm going to go ahead and get a few things started here. The biggest announcement I guess I wanted to make is that fact. As of right now, if you're listening to us on Spreaker, if you want to go check out the website, it is up and live and running now. I've been helping the guys get it running this weekend. You can now find featured shows over there. We don't have the streaming capability yet because, like I said, this is a platform that I convinced them could work. So now they're going to let me build it and make me put my money where my mouth is. So now I have to prove that I can make this happen. So if you like the stuff that you've been listening to, both on Blog Talk and Spreaker, this is what I need you to do, and I need you to do it now. Facebook is working again, so go to Facebook, www.facebook.com/K98Talk. Go there, click like, make lots of comments. Also, visit K98Talk.com as often as possible. We are adding new hosts every day. We actually already have one show in the works. This gentleman had a rather popular YouTube show, and he is coming over here through K98 Talk. He will not be affiliated with Common Ground Media Group. I still run that company, and we are still maintaining a lot of the stuff that we do. We're just grafting ourselves into that name, so hopefully it can become a symbiotic relationship and we can build each other up. So that's kind of the plan. So anytime you want to check out shows now, you can find all of our major shows all in one place, and new shows are being added every day. That would be, again, K98Talk.com. Go check it out. Make yourself at home. Now, for those of you who are listening, and you've been listening to me, and you're like, well, crap, I could do a better job than this guy. How come he's got a radio show? Here's the thing, guy. You can have a radio show. We are going to start looking for hosts. Most of the emails aren't functional yet. They haven't been set up, because like I said, this just started a couple of days ago. The K98FM platform has been around for a very long time. K98 Talk was something I basically wedged my way into a meeting and said, look, if you guys are going to do this, I can make this work too. So, don't prove me wrong, folks. That's all I'm saying. So at this point, if you want to either advertise with us once we get the 24/7 streaming going, which is next on my list, or if you want to become a host to fill up some of that 24/7 airtime, then I need you to do this. Email me at doubler@K98Talk.com. That's how you can get a hold of me now for pretty much anything. You want to talk to me about the stuff on the show, you want to make suggestions for guests for some of our other shows, anything you need, hit me up on that email address. That's what it's for. Alright, so now that we've got some of the announcements out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and do what I normally do, and we're going to go ahead and play a song for a moment. Give me a second to get situated, get the stories pulled up that I wanted to talk about, all that fun stuff. So, again, I am Double R, and this is America Off the Rails, and we are coming to you live from Oklahoma City, now streaming coast to coast and worldwide through K98Talk.com. Go check it out, folks. I'm just saying. What are you doing? Click the button. Go, go, go!
just in case I face another wrong way. I feel I have to say, go, don't wanna run away. No, I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mindful mission, but I can't do it right. I hope to stay me down and laugh and know what it's like. Maybe I can get some rest, forget what you like. I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mindful mission, but I can't do it right. I hope to stay me down and laugh and know what it's like. Maybe I can get some rest, forget what you like. So my walls away, now my way is safe. And then I found my place, another big display. I feel I have to say, go, just wanna run away. No. I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mindful mission, but I can't do it right. I hope to stay me down and laugh and know what it's like. Maybe I'll get some rest, forget what you like. I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mindful mission, but I can't do it right. I hope to stay me down and laugh and know what it's like. Maybe I'll get some rest, forget what you like. I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mindful mission, but I can't do it right. I hope to stay me down and laugh and know what it's like. Maybe I'll get some rest, forget what you like. I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mindful mission, but I can't do it right. I hope to stay me down and laugh and know what it's like. Maybe I'll get some rest, forget what you like.
The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.
Alright folks, we are back. I am Double R, this is America Off the Rails, and again we are coming to you live, coast to coast and worldwide through K98Talk.com. Go check it out. Featured shows, click on America Off the Rails, should be a player right there, should be streaming this content as we speak. So if you're not already listening through Spreaker, which if you're not, what's the matter with you? Go to that particular site, check it out. We will have a, or I should say K98Talk.com will have a store set up soon, so you can get bumper stickers, coffee mugs, all that fun stuff. So, yeah, if you like what we're doing here, find ways to support us any way you can. Because at this point, this is an experiment, folks. I had to go well above and beyond to prove to the folks that are running K98FM.com that we can make this work. So I'm going to need the support from everybody who's been listening to us for the last few months, which is a lot of folks. Between BTR and Spreaker, we are hitting a lot of people. We hitting about 25,000 listeners on a regular basis throughout the month. So I know you guys are there. I know you like the content. Like I said, I also know some of you have been listening and have probably been thinking, I can do a better job than this schmuck. So if you think you can, it's time for you to put your money where your mouth is. K98 Talk is currently waiving all franchise or setup fees. You will be your own boss. We'll work with you to get it scheduled. We can Some of the hosts that are already here will work with you to get intros set up. The only thing you need for now, while we're working on our streaming platform, is access to Spreaker, which can be relatively cheap. If you don't mind doing a short show, you could do it for free. At this point, we don't care. We're just trying to get you guys some exposure who have been waiting in the shadows and have been listening to folks like Rush and Hannity and everybody else for years and been like, these guys are making all this money and I could kill them. It's time for you to be able to prove it. Anyway, I'm going to stop doing K98 talk commercials because we do have a lot going on. I actually have some breaking news, unfortunately. It would appear there has been a shooting at a school. I'm pulling up the CNN article now. It posted just a couple of minutes ago. Bear with me for just a moment. According to a report from CNN.com, there were shots fired at a Nevada middle school. Apparently, an unknown number of people were shot at a Sparks Middle School outside Reno, Nevada, police say. Is it Nevada or Nevada? Nevada, because I've lived in basically all the regions of the country, and everybody says things differently. So if I'm annoying anyone by saying Nevada, I can say Nevada too. I don't really know. Anyway. Commander Rocky Triplett of the Sparks Police Department said it was unclear how many people were shot, and at this point they do believe the suspect has been neutralized. This is not a very thorough report, which is probably because it's only been up for a couple of minutes, so if we get any more throughout the show, I will definitely come back to it. Just wanted to let you guys know what is going on. Also, now that we will become a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week station through ktalk.com, we'll be partnering with at least one news organization so far. That would be freepressok.com. We're gonna get them rolling, get them out to the point where they can come in every once in a while, throw us some news breaks, those kind of things. Basically, as I said, this is my brainchild, this is my baby, and I've been given... Let's just get it out of the way. I am the general manager of ktalk.com effective immediately. It's my job to make it run. So by the time I'm done, I don't want there to be any difference between this station and a terrestrial talk station, other than the fact that we're bringing you content that matters and not a bunch of talking heads going, vote for this guy just because. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. I call both parties out when they screw up. I will continue to call both parties out. And as far as I'm concerned, both parties need to be thrown out. Especially after all this crap we've been going through lately. But that is a topic for another later segment of the show. Alright, so let's see. Speaking of topics, this is something that's been annoying me for a long time. For those of you who don't know, I've been running Facebook pages since about this time last year. Basically, I was one of the folks, kind of like most of you that were listening, fed up with politics, fed up in general, didn't feel like anybody was listening, so I started using Facebook to try to scream from the mountaintops. Been doing that for quite some time. One of the things that I've noticed, though, and don't get me wrong, because I've done it a couple of times myself, without realizing it, is people are taking what they assume is serious news, and they're not doing any type of fact-checking at all before they post it to their pages. And I'm not calling anybody out, because like I said, I've done it before. But for any of you who are listening, because I know a lot of you that are Facebook admins know me through my pages, so a lot of you check out the shows. If you are posting things from this particular site, which I'm about to give you the information of, which is called the National Report, please stop. Or at least put in there that you are aware this is satire. That entire site is satire. They don't tell you that. But it's sometimes kind of obvious from the content. So, and I'm only saying this because on Facebook, political pages, especially conservative political pages, already have such a hard time that anytime we start perpetuating all these satirical articles and present them as if they're fact, all it does is make us look as stupid as everybody already thinks we are. So it's nothing against any of you guys. This is let me tell you what I started doing. Because there will be times when I pull up an article and I'm like, yeah, this looks legit, but is it? So what I've started doing as a first stage check, I will go into Google or browser of your search engine of your choice. For this, I typically do use Google. A lot of the times I have one that gives money to a charity every time that I search, so I try to use that one as much as I can, but it's not as connected as Google is. So for this, I normally use Google. And what I will do is I will type the name of, or the actual name of the paper into Google with this question, like, is National Report satire? If you're listening right now and you're near a computer, go ahead and type that in. See what pops up. Because what they don't tell you is they've tried to make this look as much like a legitimate news source as they can, but they're feeding you full of crap. And we have people that are falling for it. I know that even Drudge has been falling for it a couple of times lately, at least once that I know of. And I can't fault the guy for that. I mean, believe me, I completely understand. At this point, I'm now running a company that I'm trying to get started while trying to build a radio station, while trying to run a full-time job, while having a wife and 4 kids. And can I just say there's not enough hours in the day. Speaking of which, for those of you who have not clicked our Facebook page yet, why not? Once again, www.facebook.com/K98talk.com. You'll notice that JT decided to poke a little fun at me last night, which I can't really say much right now because technically that man is my boss. For those of you who aren't aware, 101fm.net has purchased K98fm.com. So he is now running both of those houses and technically running this one too. Like I said, I had to just basically be like, look, give me a shot, I can make this work. And he's like, okay, you got a year. So if you like what we're doing, just make sure you check it out. But yeah, if you'll notice on our Facebook page, JT decided to poke a little fun at me. There's a guy holding a giant cup of coffee, because we've had this conversation before. As far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as enough coffee. So yeah, he basically called me out to the fans that we have showing up on the page and said, hey, as far as Double R is concerned, this is still not enough coffee. And as far as I'm concerned, he needs a 12-step program. If you agree with me, like the photo. If you agree with him, share the photo. So far, I'm losing. So I guess I am a coffee. My name is Double R. I am a caffeine addict, and it's been forever since my last meeting. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's see what else we got going on. Oh, the Obama-nable Care Act. Have you guys been keeping up on all this stuff? Because I gotta tell you, this is a joke and a half. I am honestly everybody's joked about it for the last 5 years, about how our country's being run by a community organizer. And you know, I really, really tried to give the man the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry, but to me this proves that neither he nor his administration have any idea what they're doing. I mean, even CBS is starting to come out about this. This is from Media Research Center, and it's an excerpt from CBS this morning. Again, this is datelined from the 18th. Friday, CBS This Morning zeroed in on healthcare.gov glitch that is jeopardizing privacy of millions of Americans. Jan Crawford noted how the glitches have in fact made the website unusable for most, but also pointed out that the problems go beyond the enrollment process. Most troubling, insurance companies report receiving duplicate sign-up and records of people enrolling, unenrolling, and then re-enrolling. Those forms contain highly personal information. Crawford also underlined that these duplicate and incomplete enrollment forms are indications that the problems are pervasive with the Obamacare website. Actually, if you pull it up, you can actually listen to the audio. I didn't pull it because it belongs to CBS. And now that I'm actually working for a station, I have to try to at least follow some rules. Just saying. Okay, the correspondent led the segment by spotlighting White House Press Secretary Jay Carney deflected questions Thursday over who, if anyone, should be held accountable. However, unlike her Wednesday report, Crawford didn't focus on the calls for someone to be fired for the boondoggle. Instead, she continued by reporting as the administration scrambles, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who helped pass Obamacare, pressed for a quick resolution. Okay, so I gotta tell you folks, if I was Catherine Sebelius, I would be running for the hills. Because I gotta tell you, Kathy, he's gonna hang this thing right around your neck like the albatross that it is, and he's gonna kick you off the good ship Lollipop faster than you can say WTF. You are screwed, lady. You're running the HHS. This is his baby, but it's in your department. You don't think he's gonna do it to you? Why don't you go talk to Billary and see how she got treated once Benghazi happened? Just saying. You might as well start holding out the "will work for food" sign now, because when you're kicked out of the White House and the government areas, there ain't no jobs here for you, lady. I don't know what to tell you. And since you're technically going to be fired, I doubt you'll be eligible for unemployment. But, what are you supposed to do? Just saying. Come on, folks. This is crazy. There are so many stories breaking about this thing now that I can't even keep up. And I have really good recall of the things that I read. I've been reading articles that have been talking about the fact that the website coding, they're being sued for the website coding because they've committed copyright infringements on the website. And it already behaves like something that was put together by a 5-year-old. One of the other things that I'm trying to track down confirmation for is apparently the company that designed the website was a Canadian-based company that was fired by the Canadian government. When I have confirmation of that and an article to go with it, I will definitely revisit it, because if they were fired by the Canadian government and we hired them, again, we're being run by a community organizer, so I really can't be too surprised. But oh my God, really? Seriously? I don't know. I just don't know. I have the REM song "It's the End of the World as We Know It" basically on a recurring loop in my head. It's like anytime I close my eyes for 5 minutes, that song starts playing in my head, because I just really am starting to feel like there's just no way out of this mess that we find ourselves in, and I'm not sure what we're going to do. But I guess I need to take my depressing hat off now. So yeah, at this point, we are coming up on a break, because I actually came in a little bit early because of that CNN story. So give me people are yelling at me. One moment. Oh, you gotta love all this. One moment, please. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and roll the Old School Network commercial. I promise this week I will finally get around to making a new one, because we've got a lot more stuff that I'll be able to start telling you about here soon, so I need to update it anyway. But at this point, we are going to take a little bit of a break, and we will be right back. Thanks for tuning in. Again, this is Double R, and you're listening to us on K98Talk.com.
In you, just as far as I can go.
Giving the Obama administration the big ones up, right from the middle finger. Common Ground Radio with Double R.
Alright, folks, some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Double R, the founder here at Common Ground Media Group, and we have two different channels running. We have Common Ground Media Group Oklahoma over on Blog Talk Radio, and we have Common Ground Radio Oklahoma on Spreaker. Now, Common Ground Radio Oklahoma is a startup. We've been on BTR now since February, but we've decided we want some more airtime and some more flexibility. So for now, mine is one of the only shows that's going to be found over there. I'm going to go ahead and just give you our lineup in order and let you know a few things that are going on behind the scenes. Sundays, over on the BTR channel, we have the Outer Limits, hosted by Steve Long, one of the only libertarian radio hosts that I'm aware of, at least from the amateur angle, and you can catch him every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. He does normally have some pretty good live guests on there. He even had a recent gubernatorial candidate on, so if you haven't checked that one out, you may want to go back and hit up our archive shows available on the Blog Talk channel and get caught up. And then we have Monday, my show, which is located over on Spreaker, America Off the Rails. That is, of course, hosted by yours truly. That's basically my conservative show where I rant and complain and vent, and it helps with my sanity, and I hope you guys like it too. And if not, I'm going to still keep doing it anyway, because like I said, it does help with my sanity. And then we have the show on Tuesday, which is Finding Common Ground. That is featuring myself and Dave, and that is again located over on the Blog Talk channel. That typically starts between 8 and 8:30, and it's basically where a cranky conservative, that yours truly, and a hacked off Jeffersonian liberal, my buddy Dave, get together and try to talk about current events and see about setting some differences aside to see if maybe we can find a way to fix this crazy mess we all find ourselves in right now. Then we have Wednesday, The Family Factor, hosted by Denny C. That is 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., again over on the Blog Talk channel. Now, Denny does have some things in the works that he's going to be bringing over to the Spreaker channel. Different formats than The Family Factor. We're still ironing some of that stuff out. Then on Thursday, we have On the Fringes. That is Dave's music show, where basically he plays alternative music, alternate country, indie, pop, all that fun stuff. It's a really great show. Different kind of audience than most of the ones that we bring in, so it's nice to have a little bit of variety. Speaking of variety, we'll get to that in a minute. On Friday, we have the Red Shirt Friday show featuring the Common Ground crew. Normally that's me and Dave and maybe some of the other admins hanging out, just having a little bit of fun from our Common Ground political page over on Facebook. Try to get a few of them involved here and there when we can, at least on Fridays. And then on Saturday, we have a new show hitting the lineup that's all about wrestling. You guys will find more out about that. The first airing will be tomorrow at the time that I record this first commercial for the network that I've done in a while. And that pretty much concludes our lineup for now. Thanks to everybody who's been tuning in and checking us out. We hope you like us over on BTR, and we hope to make lots of new friends over on Spreaker. As we bring more shows in, of course, I will let you know.
You're listening to America Off the Rails with Double R, right here on the Common Ground Media Network.
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high.
The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.
Alright, folks, and we are back again. This is Double R. You are listening to America Off the Rails, now hearing us on Spreaker, as well as K98Talk.com. Go check out the website. Go hit like on the Facebook page. Let them know I'm not crazy for having this idea. Come on, folks, work with me here. Just kidding. Honestly, it's been a blast so far for the last couple of days. If I seem manic, it's only because I've been putting in so many hours between work and here that I've only slept about 5. So don't worry about me, though. I've got a shot at building a dream. And I've built stuff from nothing before, so it's nothing new. Common Ground Media Group was nothing when I started it. It's become a little prominent in the Midwest City area. So now I'm taking that and the stuff that I've built there, putting it in even a bigger house, taking the framework and building some better walls. So yeah, up and coming soon, 24 hours, 7 day a week talk radio. Just to let you know, that is in the works. It's not happening now, but it will be happening soon. We will have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, non-stop talk. You guys are going to be hitting up K98Talk.com and be like, Rush Limbaugh, who? Sean Hannity, where? We don't care. We're listening to K-Talk. Just kidding. Alright. So anyway, I've been looking over a few things while we were at break. I gotta tell you, folks, I'm not much of a sports guy, which is why we really don't talk about it that often. But I gotta tell you, I feel a little bad for Manning. He got schooled in his own house last night. It was bad, folks. If you missed it, I'm sure you've probably caught it on a replay somewhere. Because honestly, I was at work last night during that game, so I didn't get to see most of it. But I was on break for part of it, and he looked awesome for the part that I saw. It was like a 2-drive play with a touchdown. I'm like, yep, Peyton's gonna kill him. And then yeah, didn't happen. I kind of feel bad for the guy, because he's the one that helped put that team back on the map, and he got spanked. So, if anybody who knows Peyton's listening, let him know that Double R says, I'm sorry, man. Maybe it'll work out better next time. But yeah, like I said, not much of a sports guy, but man, that was crazy. Okay, so lots of other things going on. New Jersey is now legalized gay marriage. See, to me, this is how this is supposed to happen. And some of you are going to say, take his conservative card away. But yeah, if you listened to Hot 101 Talk the other night, you would have already done that anyway. But here's the thing. The country was designed a certain way. There's a reason why if you go anywhere else in the world, when they talk about a state, they're actually talking about a country. That's why the folks that are in the D.C. government that work with other countries are called the State Department. There's a reason the 50 states were called states. They are their own separate sovereign territories. They should be allowed to make up their own minds, for the most part, as to what they want to do and what they want to recognize. So as far as I'm concerned, this is how this should work. If a state feels like there's something that they want to recognize that other states are not recognizing, they have the right to do that. If a state wants to completely revamp their entire education system because the NEA they feel like is screwing them over, they technically have the right to do that. And at least then, because I got to tell you folks, I'm not, and some of you are going to be saying you're a liar, I'm not anti-homosexual. I'm not. I worked in that community for years. I have friends who are gay. I mean, I've been around it for forever. But here's my problem. And this, I almost lost a friend over having this argument once. It got pretty bad. Because the thing that I kept trying to explain to him is, as a Christian, this is what I'm afraid is going to happen. Once it becomes legal in a certain area, what they're going to do, because there's always that 7 to 10% of folks that feel like they've been completely persecuted. So the only thing that I know is probably going to happen, because there's already been some instances of it elsewhere in other places like photo studios and cake shops, is once it's legal somewhere, they're going to start banging down the doors of every Baptist church and Catholic church and any other church they can find and be like, marry us or else. And I'm sorry, but that's just as wrong as the way you guys have been treated. Because if someone genuinely, specifically believes that what you're doing is wrong, as long as they are not holding it against you and shouting you down from the rooftops and telling you that you can't do that, then you should leave them alone just as much as they're trying to leave you alone. Because nobody is telling you, at least as far as I'm concerned, at least I'm not telling you you can't be with who you want to be with, and I'm not telling you that if you want to get married, you can't go to a state that recognizes it. But don't try to force it down everybody's throats. Because there are some of us who, no matter what you think it is wrong. But I'm not going to judge you for that. I can't judge you for that because there's tons of things that I do wrong every day according to Scripture. So how can I judge you? Why should I judge you? That's not my place. But I also have the right to be afraid of what's going to happen to my particular belief system when they start being sued for refusing to marry people that they don't agree with. If I'm wrong on that, then I'm sorry. I'm just telling you how it is. If I lose friends over it, I'm okay with that too. Because I still love you guys. Even if you don't want to talk to me anymore, I still love you. So that's okay. But I'm just saying. So yeah, New Jersey legalized gay marriage. As far as I'm concerned, it should be something that's done state by state. So if nothing else, those of us who disagree with it have somewhere to go. Not saying I would leave, because like I said, I may disagree with it to a point, but I don't have an issue with it either. What I disagree with is you got the folks that I know are going to come along and try to shove it down people's throats. What I also disagree with are the other things that are coming out now, where they're now saying that things like pedophilia is a lifestyle choice. I warned everybody this was going to happen. When you draw a line in the sand, when you allow that line to be moved, the next folks behind them that are even more off are going to start coming out of the woodwork. And again, I'm not trying to offend anyone, not trying to annoy anyone, not trying to tick anybody off. I'm just telling you, you are a free human being. You deserve all the rights and privileges of every other free human being. But don't try to shove things down everybody else's throats. That's all I'm asking. I don't judge you, don't want to judge you, don't care to judge you. If my beliefs are correct, somebody's going to do that anyway. But it ain't going to be me. So anyway, I think we've talked about that enough, because in between finding common ground and Now, this show, I've talked gay marriage to death, and I've given my input on that so many times that I'm just tired of talking about it. Go be with whoever you want to be with. Just don't ram it down everybody else's throats. It really is just that simple as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, folks. Thought I hit the mute button. Hit something else. One moment. Sorry about that. Alright. Wow. It's amazing the things that you can find when you just go looking. Sorry, I'm pulling up a story. Apparently, there's been a lot of U.S. spying going on. And a leading or top U.S. official has been called into the France government for potential spying situations. Apparently, the NSA has accessed the Mexican president's email. So, yeah, let's just read this for a second. The NSA has been systematically eavesdropping on the Mexican government for years. It hacked into the president's public email account and gained deep insight into policymaking and the political system. The news is likely to hurt ties between the U.S. and Mexico. Really? How are you going to hurt ties between the U.S. and Mexico? We're systematically supporting the Mexican economy because we have, last count, anywhere between 11 to 16 million undocumented workers sending 80% of their freaking paycheck back to the country. So I really don't think we're going to hurt our ties very much. Kind of curious as to why the NSA was spying on the Mexican president, but it really doesn't say very much about it. The National Security Agency has a division for particularly difficult missions called Tailored Access Operations. This department devises special methods for special targets. That category includes surveillance of neighboring Mexico, and in May 2010, the division reported its mission accomplished. A report classified as top secret said the TAO successfully exploited a key mail server in the Mexican Presidencia domain within the Mexican presidential network to gain first ever access to President Felipe Calderon's public email account. According to the NSA, this email domain was also used by cabinet members and contained diplomatic, economic, and leadership communications, which continue to provide insight into the Mexican political system. Wait, Mexico has a political system? Then why are they all coming up here? Sorry, that was an attempt at humor. Probably didn't go over very well. But yeah, is it me, or is it time for the No Such Agency to become the No Such Agency again? Because it seems to me they've gotten way too big for their britches, and they're pretty much sneaking around as much as they can, and grabbing as much information on everybody as they can, and apparently we're ticking everybody in the world off. So, yeah. So, also, for those of you who are listening live as we're streaming, you'll notice I've checked the explicit box. I'm going to do that from now on, probably on every show. I'm getting feedback from a few people that it's kind of sad for them that I occasionally use curse words and drop the F-bomb. I gotta tell you, folks, I try not to do it as much as possible, but when I get going, I don't have a filter. And we're not FCC regulated, so I will tag them that way. Listen at your own risk. Can't guarantee there won't be cursing, but I'll do my best. Just saying. Alright, so next up on the list here, what do we got for you guys today? Oh, now I haven't been able to confirm or deny this one yet, but this was interesting. This is from Daily Dose, our GOP, thedailydose.com. It is a blog, so take it with a grain of salt, just like you guys tell me when you read my blog stuff. Apparently, Larry Nichols has decided to confirm some things that some of us have wondered for a long time. Basically, let me just go ahead and read this to you here. Larry Nichols, former 10-year accomplice to the Clintons, can now add hitman to his list of dirty deeds. Nichols dropped a bombshell on the Pete Santilli show when he very calmly admitted that he had murdered people on command for Bill and Hillary Clinton. Mr. Nichols has been a voice crying out in the wilderness since he brought to light the sexual brutality of Bill Clinton during his reign as governor in Arkansas. That information would eventually play a key role to Clinton's impeachment in the 90s. Larry says he makes no apologies. They sent me overseas to kill people for them, and then told me it was for the good of the country. So when they asked me to do the same for them in the States, it felt no different to me. The real truth is, I did it for the money, and pardon me, I'm reading, so nobody yell at me for cursing. I did it for the money, and I didn't give a shit about the women I beat, and the men I murdered. The Clintons are bad people, and I did bad things for them. I had to live with that all of those years, and now I just don't care anymore. Who knows it? Larry maintains the Clintons were into so many illegal activities at the time they had to have a team of mercenaries made up of friends and state troopers to cover it all up and keep them protected from the public finding out. According to Larry Nichols, both Bill and Hillary were wild and out of control, and both were relentless in their pursuit for money and power, from running drugs to the rape and beating of women and young girls. Both of the Clintons are guilty of unspeakable crimes. When Pete asked Larry about Jennifer Flowers making headlines last week claiming Bill and Hillary told her Hillary had eaten... hang on a second. I'm not going to read that part. I'm going to edit it at least. Basically, when Pete asked Larry about Jennifer Flowers... last week, making a claim that Bill told her that Hillary had been with more women than he had. Believe me, they said it much differently than I just did. Said that's old news, and indeed it is. Larry had made that same statement on the Pete Santilli show early last spring. Larry is adamant that Hillary Clinton is a lesbian and always has been. Again, that was not the word they used. One thing I know for sure, she did have enough sex with men to have a kid, but it wasn't Bill Clinton's kid she had. Chelsea is actually the daughter of Webb Hubbell. Wow. I'm going to have to try to see if I can find the archive for the Pete Santilli show, just to see if this guy actually said all this, because this is crazy. Nichols and many other insiders claim Clinton began having sex with Hubbell to gain employment at the Rose Law Firm, which she believed would eventually advance Bill Clinton's chances of becoming governor of Arkansas. The above quotes came from a radio interview I have obtained and a video that is posted on the same page. It is 4 hours long. I have not had time to isolate the comments, so I have no idea what segment of the show contains it. I am posting the video for those who might have time to listen. Wow. So, yeah. This has not been vetted, folks. I'm bringing it to you as I read it. Take it with a grain of salt, and I'm going to check into it, because there are some things in here that I hadn't come across before. So I'm going to find out how much of this is true, because if any of this is true, this is not the lady we need running in 2016. So, I have some works to do. Wow, I'm sorry. My mind's officially blown right now. That's really scary stuff, so I really hope that at least some of this doesn't turn out to be true. Because, yeah, that's... Wow. Okay, so anyway, where was I? I'm going to move on to news stories, because, yeah, that actually kind of freaked me out a little bit. Actually, you know what? It is probably about time for me to go ahead and take a little bit of a break. This one will not be a commercial break. It's just gives me a minute to stand up, stretch my legs, all that fun stuff, because I spend an awful lot of time in a chair, and it's time I start working on that, because I am getting even more round than I used to be, and that is not a good thing. Alright, we're going to roll a song here. This one is Brainwash by Carl Moses. Again, doing the free play stuff right now while we work out the ASCAP issues. promise all this stuff will be running like a top within a few months, because I'm going to make it happen. So go click like on ktalk.com's Facebook page. Go check out the website. We will have a store coming soon with all your K-Talk gear. Even throw some Common Ground gear in there too. And then we have some stuff in the works locally through a company for shirts and stuff that we're going to be putting together for the charity for the interview that you guys are able to check out both on Spreaker and BTR. And I will get that. I will get a page built for interview segments in the next couple of days on the K98 Talk page. So there'll be several places to start checking everything out. Anyway, gonna take a break. Be right back.
The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.
Alright folks, we are back again. I am Double R. You are listening to America Off the Rails right here on Spreaker, and again broadcasting coast to coast and worldwide through K98Talk.com. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to saying that or be able to say it enough. That is so cool. Just saying. Alright, so where were we? Had our minds blown about the Clintons. At least I did a little bit. I was still kind of youngish during the Clinton administration, so some of this stuff I've never really bothered to look into very much. Just got my curiosity piqued, though, so I have to admit over the next little bit I'm going to be doing some digging. If I find out that what this guy is saying has been vetted in any way, shape, or form, I will definitely let you know. If not, I will let you know that, as far as I can tell, he's crazy, and we will move on. Provided at least one or both of us doesn't die first. Just saying. I laugh, but really, sometimes you gotta wonder, because if these people are as bad as they say they are, it's no wonder so many people disappear. Just saying. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that France summons the U.S. ambassador story, since we were talking about the NSA spying on Mexico a moment ago. It seems like we have a lot of stuff that's just kind of blowing up in our faces. This is from a Reuters report. France summoned the U.S. ambassador on Monday to protest allegations in Le Monde newspaper about large-scale spying on French citizens by the U.S. National Security Agency. So again, the no such agency is being a douche canoe. The allegations that the agency was collecting tens of thousands of French they're collecting French telephone records now? I mean, come on. What do the French people talk about? Oh, mon Dieu, let's go eat a croissant. Sorry. I'm just saying. I mean, come on. What could you I just don't understand it. Anyway, let me keep reading. So apparently they were collecting tens of thousands of French telephone records, and it risked turning into a diplomatic row just as U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in Paris for the start of a European tour over Syria. I have immediately summoned the U.S. ambassador, and he will be received this morning at the Quai d'Orsay, the French Foreign Ministry. And sorry, I only took a semester of French, so if I'm butchering that, if anybody's listening who speaks French, don't yell at me. French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius told reporters on the sidelines of an EU meeting in Luxembourg. Earlier, France's Interior Minister Manuel Valls said that Le Monde's revelations that 70.3 million pieces of French telephone data were recorded by the NSA between December 10, 2012 and January 8, 2013 were shocking. Hey France, how do you think we feel? We live here, and I think they've probably tripled that number for us. If an allied country spies on France or spies on other European countries, that's totally unacceptable. Valls told Europe's One Radio, U.S. Ambassador to France, Charles Rifkin, declined immediate comment on reports that he had been called in by the French Foreign Ministry, but stressed that U.S.-French ties were close to breaking, maybe. The relationship on a military intelligence special forces level is the best it's been in a generation, Rifkin told Reuters as Kerry arrived in Paris. Well, Rifkin, I hate to tell you, but now that John the Raisin Kerry is on the scene, whatever ties we had with France, probably about to go right out the window. In July, Paris prosecutors opened up a preliminary inquiry into the NSA's program known as PRISM. Hey, isn't that the one they got us through? Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm thinking out loud again. After Germany's Der Spiegel and Britain's The Guardian revealed wide-scale spying by the agency leaked by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. No wonder Obama wanted this guy back. Yeah, you were going to go in a deep dark hole, sir, never to be seen again if you ever come back on this soil. So I would just stay gone wherever you are and enjoy your life, because you are a burned man here. You are officially... Anybody ever watch the show Burn Notice? That's this guy. In real life. We were warned in June about the program, and we reacted strongly, but obviously we need to go further. We must quickly assure that these practices aren't repeated. The NSA targets appeared to be individuals suspected of links to terrorism, as well as those tied to French businesses or politics. Okay, so I gotta give them a little bit of a pass on the, we think maybe this guy's a terrorist, so maybe we're gonna listen for a little bit, but why would you be spying on businesses and politicians? Oh wait, never mind, I forgot. They want to control everything. This was reported by Adrian Croft and Arshad Mohammed, writing by Alexander Sage, and edited by Mark John. And again, this was a Reuters report. So needless to say, folks, we're in trouble. We are a government run amok. I mean, look at it. For the first time ever in the state that we are in, you can be fined for not purchasing a product. That would be like me suddenly declaring myself czar of the country, setting up the shop for K98Talk.com, and be like, hey, buy this $20 coffee mug or I'm going to find a way to fine you $500. Now, granted, if I could find a way to make that happen, I would be a very happy man. Because at least it would be making money. But you guys wouldn't be, because you'd be like, I don't want a coffee mug. I'd be like, fine, buy a $5 bumper sticker, but I don't want a bumper sticker. That's what we find ourselves in now. And if you'll notice, it's happening everywhere. The fingers that are in everything are trying to manipulate everything. They want cradle-to-grave control of the United States population, because then they can start telling you where to go, what to do, and where to work, and everything else. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. I've been called worse. But I'm telling you, that is what's happening. There are folks behind the scenes that are working all this stuff out, because what's going to happen eventually is they're going to get you on a hook. And they're going to keep you on a hook. This is not a catch and release program, folks. Once they've got you, they never let you go. They convince you that you need them. You have to have them. Once the government has you, they never let you go. They can't. Once you are getting assistance from them, if you buy in to the whole you need me to survive, then they've got you. Because once they've got you, all they have to do is say, hey, if you vote for this guy, that food stamp raise I just gave you, yeah, that's going to be gone. The housing that I'm helping you with right now, yeah, that's gonna be cut too, so you'll be having to come out of pocket now a little bit more. I mean, think about it. And I'm not dissing anybody, because I've been on assistance. I have. So don't think that I'm this rich guy who's like, oh my God, you hate poor people. Screw you. You want to look at my balance sheet? As of right now, I am a poor people. I haven't been. Hopefully soon I won't be. But I understand. I really do. But there's a big difference between what the American dream was supposed to be and what the American lifestyle is now. And this is where we have a problem. Think about this for a second. We have folks that are getting an average of between $400 and $600 a month in food stamps. We have folks that are paying anywhere from, at least in this state, anywhere from nothing to $100 for a 3-bedroom house, depending on the number of children that are with them. We have folks that are getting assistance with their telephone or cell phone bill. So you really think that the folks that are standing up going, hey, you really should be out, maybe picking up cans or, recycling newspapers or doing anything you can to find a way to make money? Yeah, we're screwed. I mean, because the conservatives are all like, look, this is bad. This is going to hurt you. This is going to get you to the point where you are going to be dependent. And the liberals are just like, yeah, whatever. We care about you. We want to take care of you. We know you're having a hard time. Everybody has a hard time. You can go up to a freaking millionaire and he's going to go, oh man, my life sucks. All I'm doing is working all the time, never see my family, never see my kids, never do this, never do that. And then he goes and hops on his G4 and he's out. Everybody has hard times. It's called point of view and perspective. The problem is when you start thinking that your bad times and your hard times are worse than the guy next door's, there's your problem. There's your problem. When you start looking and you're looking at the guy next door who suddenly all of a sudden got this new, let's say, BMW Jaguar, or suddenly the guy who was living next to you for the last 20 years says, hey man, it's been nice, you should come out and check out my new digs. And you're like, well, where you going? And he's like, yeah, I bought an acreage and I did this and I did that. And you're looking at your little 1940s house going, crap. I suck. And these, not calling anybody out, not saying anything that's really going on, that was just stuff that I made up off the top of my head. But here's the problem that we find ourselves in today, folks. Everybody's got the keeping up with the Joneses mentality. If the guy next to you suddenly has a BMW, you're looking at your, in this case, this is not completely made up because I do drive a Ford, but neither one of the guys that are people that live next to me have BMWs. But all of a sudden, the dude living next door to you drives up in a BMW, and you're looking at your Ford going, crap, I'm such a loser. But why? It gets you where you need to go. You got a job, you got a house, you got a family, you got food. So why do we always look at everything around us, and not only do we want what everyone else has, we get mad and we get jealous when we can't find a way to get what they have. And then we start screaming, ooh, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair, life is so unfair. Where did that concept even come from? Because it starts somehow in childhood, and I don't even know where it comes from. Where do we get the idea that life is supposed to be fair? Life is hard. Life is supposed to be hard. If everything's handed to you, you never do anything. I mean, think about this from a logical perspective for a second, for all the naturalists out there and the humanists. You go into a friggin' national park and you see signs everywhere. Do not feed the animals. They will become dependent. Why is the same not true of people? Let me tell you something, folks. It is true of people. They do become dependent. They start to feel like they can't get along without the government. That's what the government wants. They want to control you. They want you to be afraid. They want you to feel like, oh my God, if I take this pay raise, I'm going to lose my food stamps. Or, oh my God, if I take this pay raise, they're going to cut my housing. Okay, so what is it? What is the logical progression here? Are you supposed to stay below the poverty line for the rest of your life so that you can continue to get government assistance? To make things easier for you? To make you dependent on the government? Or is it time to pick yourself up and do something? And I'm not talking to those of you who have disabilities to a point. I mean, to some of you I am. I'm not going to lie, because you've heard me talk about this before. I'm fat, I wobble, and I have a bad eye. It hurts for me to get out of bed every day, and I do it. It hurts for me to go to work every day, and I do it. I am in pain constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The good news is, I've been in pain for so long that to me, that's normal. So I don't even notice half the time anymore unless I'm tired, because my brain just kind of blocks it out unless it's really, really bad. But it's always there in the back of my mind, and if I stop and pay attention to it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm still hurting. But you know what? Life goes on. And that's my whole point. There are some of you out there who have become so dependent on the government, you are no longer willing to do what you have to do to survive. And everybody's like, oh, it's so unfair that you have to work 2 jobs and 3 jobs, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. Really? Really? You want to talk to me about unfair? Really? At least people don't assume you're retarded as soon as you walk into a room. And you want to talk to me about how unfair life is? Life is not supposed to be fair. And it's not supposed to be easy. And the government's not supposed to hand you everything that you need. Because here's the thing, folks, for those of you who are like, oh, I can relax now, the government's going to take care of me. What happens when you tick them off? What happens? Because at some point, folks, when they get all the control they want, they're going to squeeze you like a grape. Because they can. And it really is that simple. Alright, well, I've got a little whisper in my ear telling me it is time for us to go to break again, so I think the producer's about to roll something in my ear. So, just in case, if I go away while I'm talking, it's only because it's time for a break.
We were made to be courageous. We were made to lead the way. We could be the generation that finally breaks the chains. We were
Giving the Obama administration the big ones up, right from the middle finger. Common Ground Radio with Double R.
Hey folks, I don't know about you, but I always feel like there just isn't enough time in the day. You know, one of those not enough hours in the day kind of things. But, you know, working full-time, raising a family, trying to start a company, I'm sure some of you can relate. So, what can we do about it, I guess is my question. Short of hijacking Doc Brown and having him show you the secrets to the DeLorean, what if I told you there was a way where we could get you more energy for the hours that you had in your day, instead of worrying about finding more time in your day? Anyway, I found the information through my independent Beachbody life coach, Miss Sherry Britt. You can find her information online at www.beachbody.com/SherryBritt1. Basically, I have to tell you, folks, I haven't been doing it for very long, but it's working. It's one of those total commitment kind of things. I'm using a program called Shakeology. Basically, it's a meal replacement. Think Slim Fast, but better. And also, I have one of Sean T's workout videos. We're doing T25 right now. Started that a couple of days ago. Have to admit, I'm old, I'm fat, and it's painful, but I feel better. And it's one of those things where I'm doing it at my own pace. There's also nutrition plans involved in a lot of these packages if you go for the whole thing. So it's what they like to call a challenge pack. I call it a bundle offer. Basically, it gets you the Shakeology video of your choice and a diet and exercise plan all rolled into one. Basically, it's just one of those things where, what have you got to lose? You might as well try it. We all complain that there's not enough time in the day. What if there just isn't enough energy for us in the day anymore? You remember when we were kids? A day felt like a week, because we were always doing something. Just my thoughts on it, folks. Give it a shot. Like I said, you can find the information at the link I just gave you a minute ago. What have you got to lose?
If you don't believe in God we trust, then strap your bomb to yourself and ride your camel out of here. You're listening to Lyric Off the Rails with Double R, right here on Common Ground Radio.
The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com. The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.
Alright, folks, and we are back. Sorry, I had some behind-the-scenes stuff to deal with, so I had producer roll a little bit of a song while I was dealing with something. Do want to give a shout-out to a few folks. I've noticed more and more people coming into the K98 Talk Facebook page. Sharita, if you're listening, thanks for checking it out. Also, hang on. Let's see. Yep, Sharita. Then we also have Jonathan, who just came in. See Richard, as well as Charles, Jennifer, and Dawn. So thanks for checking out the page. Hope you guys are listening live right now. If you've checked out the page and you are listening live, make sure you check back as often as you can to K98Talk.com. Again, we do have a lot of new stuff in the works. And this is now the new permanent home for Common Ground Media Group Oklahoma, as long as I can get it off the ground. Alright, folks, well, we actually are starting to come towards the end of the show. There are still a couple more things that I wanted to talk about, so give me just one moment. I had planned on using the break to get some of that stuff pulled up, and then, as usual, something else reared its ugly little head. No, I'm not talking about me. Tom, if you're listening, quit. I know you're laughing right now. Just saying. This one looks interesting. I meant to touch on this earlier and kind of got sidetracked with my little rant about the handout programs. I'm done calling them entitlements. Retirement, Social Security, and Veterans Pay, those are entitlements. People worked for those. They are entitled to them. Food stamps, housing assistance, all that stuff, those are handouts. That's the biggest problem. They've turned into handouts, not hand up. Okay, so this is through Mail 1. It says, meet the Google executive who plans to cheat death. Ray Kurzweil takes 150 vitamins a day so he can hold out long enough for the invention of robots that will keep humans alive. Wow. The things you find when you're just kind of perusing and you're like, hey, that looks interesting, let's open it up and talk about it on the show. Holy crap, Batman. Futurist Ray Kurzweil explains the biology of the body is like computer software that needs upgrading. Key is a bridge-to-bridge system where you maximize current methods in order to live until life-lengthening technology is at its greatest. Kurzweil is currently taking 150 vitamin supplements per day. We will eventually hit a stage where robots will subsidize our immune system. I wish I would have thought far enough ahead to have this open before the show, because I so would have had the whole resistance is futile thing from the Borg playing in the background while I was talking about this. So, yeah. Apologies for not planning better. Google engineering director and futurist Ray Kurzweil believes we are close to realizing everlasting life and is dead set on getting us there. The inventor and noted author believes the key to such a scientific breakthrough is a system for bridges that enable the body to move from strength to strength over time. The youthful 65-year-old currently takes 150 supplements a day, which he argues I guess that's a typo, because it says if the first bridge, but I'm thinking they meant is. So see, this is another pet peeve of mine, folks, and I'm sorry, because I know I am the typo king. If you've ever hung out with me in a chat, you'll see that if I'm typing on the go and I'm in a hurry, my stuff don't make sense. There just ain't no way around that. But before I ever put anything out in print, because I do publish for the Free Press OK paper, I also have a blog of my own that I run. Granted, for those of you who've checked that one out, it's only got a couple of articles in it, but I'm always on here, and I'm always doing something. So at some point, I will find more time to do all the fun stuff that I like to do. Probably not for the next few months, though, because I am on a clock. But, I mean, come on, it says if, and it should be is. I don't know. Maybe there's just so many different platforms out there now that people don't think about having somebody else read the work before they publish it. Good key to writing number 1, folks. If you are going to put articles out, before you actually post it, have somebody else read it, because if you've been staring at that screen for forever, your brain's going to forget the typos. You can see that on a lot of the Facebook posts that are going around right now that have, like, if you can read this, it's because your brain is an amazing piece of equipment, blah, 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 yada, 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 and it's like, some of the characters are backwards, some of them are upside down, some of them are numbers instead of letters, and it's because if you read something, your brain typically, if it can get enough pieces of information, finishes the picture for you so that it can make sense. And that's one of the reasons why it's always a good idea to have somebody that has a fresh set of eyes take a look at something before you publish it. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox now. Which he believes this is the first bridge. The idea is to build enough bridges to ensure the body holds out long enough for life-lengthening technology to come into its own. He has likened the biology of the body to computer software and believes we are out of date. In an interview with Canadian magazine Maclean's, Kurzweil says he hopes the supplements will keep him healthy enough to reach the nanotech revolution. Oh my God, he really does want to be on board. I can never say I've done it, I've lived forever, because it's never forever, he said. We're really talking about being on a path that will get us to the next point. Bridge 1, stay as healthy as possible with diet and exercise and current medicine. The goal is to get to Bridge 2. Bridge 2 is the biotechnology revolution, where we can reprogram biology away from disease. And that is not the end-all either. Bridge 3 is to go beyond biology into the nanotechnology revolution. At that point, we can have little robots, sometimes called nanobots, that augment your immune system. We can create an immune system that recognizes all disease, and if a new disease emerged, it could be reprogrammed to deal with the new pathogens. Such robots, according to Kurzweil, will help fight diseases and improve health and allow people to remain active for longer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this how every B horror movie in the world starts? Okay, maybe not everyone, but still. This can't be a good idea. I'm just saying, biology is a software process, Kurzweil told Maclean's. Our bodies are made up of trillions of cells, each governed by this process. You and I are walking around with outdated software running in our bodies, which evolved in a very different era. We each have a fat insulin receptor gene that says, hold on to every calorie. That was a very good idea 10,000 years ago. When you worked all day to get a few calories, there were no refrigerators, so you stored them in your fat cells. I would like to tell my fat insulin receptor gene, you don't need to do that anymore. That's about the only thing he said so far that I agree with. So, Mr. Fat Insulin Receptor Gene, if you're listening, knock it off! Kurzweil referenced a lab mice experiment at the Joslin Diabetes Center, which managed to turn off the mice's fat insulin receptor gene. The mice continued to eat, remained slim, did not get diabetes or heart disease, and lived over 20% longer. Google is hoping to help expand the human lifespan. Wait, it just dawned on me. I'm reading about this stuff, and it's all being funded by Google. They really are trying to take over the world. Google is hoping to expand the human lifespan with its new company Calico, which aims to make improvements in human health and well-being. Kurzweil has previously predicted that by the late 2020s, humans will be able to eat as much junk food as they want because everyone will have a nanobot injected into their bodies that will provide all the necessary nutrients while simultaneously eliminating fat. Maybe these nanobots aren't such a bad idea. All the Twinkies I want and no consequences. Mwahaha. No, seriously, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. Think about this for a second. Think of all the life-saving miracle drugs they've put out that have killed people. Just stop and think for just a second. This is terrible. Kurzweil is currently... hang on, where did I go? Oh yeah, sorry. Kurzweil is currently working... Wow, I'm even reading and correcting for typos. My brain got really confused because I read it as Kurzweil is currently working towards building smarter computers, but it was typed as Kurzweil is current work... Blah, blah. Okay, so back to automatic editing mode. Kurzweil is currently working towards building smarter computers, and it's being seen as the first step towards developing such technology. His goal is to improve the natural language processing skills in computers that will allow robots to read, consume, and understand human communication. Oh, Lord. Not only are they trying to create the Borg, Skynet is about to become a reality. We are all going to die. Alright, folks, bear with me for just a second.
The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.
Sorry about that, folks. I had a little bit of an issue going on in the studio, so I had to clean house for a second, and sorry for that little interruption. Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah, Google is trying to create the Borg and Skynet all at the same time. And you guys wonder why I have the REM song playing in my head on an infinite loop. Anyway, we're down to about 7 more minutes. Holy cow. Where has the time gone? I really do not have any idea. Alright, so this, as we've been talking all day, we have now been picked up by K98Talk.com. Some of the shows are not streamable because of the platform that we currently use while I continue to work with the guys behind the scenes here at K-Talk, which is what I call it for short. So if you hear me say K-Talk instead of K98 Talk, it's just cuz. But basically, I'm working with the guys behind the scenes. We are working on getting everything consolidated into a streamable platform. Also, while we continue to hire hosts, there will be some automation involved, so you'll be able to catch some rebroadcasts going on from time to time. Again, though, as a reminder, for those of you who listen to me on a regular basis, and you're like, well, I listen to you because I know you, but you suck. Prove it. Come to a show. Prove to me I suck. We'll give you the time slots. We'll even waive the hosting fees for probably the first 6 months. Anybody who signs on as a host, the only thing you've got to do is provide your own access while I'm working on the streaming content, which means all you need is a Spreaker account. You can do one that will give you up to 3 hours worth of access for as little as $20 a month. Then we just build you a page for your show. I help you get some stuff put together, and you rock it out and prove to me that I suck. Anyway, as I said, we are coming to the end of the show. It has been my pleasure sitting in with each and every one of you who tune in on a regular basis. Thank you very much. Thanks to the folks that have been coming in and checking out the Facebook page while we've been on the air. Again, that is www.facebook.com/K98Talk. Go check it out. Go hit like. Go hit up the website. We have some sponsors already in place, so the more often you guys hit that website, the more money we make. So go back as often as you want. Listen to everything that we got. New stuff will be coming in from the BTR channel as I can get it uploaded, because as of right now, that is not a streamable platform for us, and it is not going to be economically feasible to make it a streaming platform, because I'm sorry, I love BTR as a platform, and I respect them as business owners because they are crazy making money, and I can prove it because I know how much they want to host a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week network, and it is insane. So for all of you who are going, what do you mean at some point there's going to be hosting fees? You don't like what we're going to charge you when it happens? Go find out what Blog Talk wants. You'll come back. I promise. You will come back. Oh, okay. So anyway, where were we? We got about 4 minutes left. See, I'm just still completely mind blown over the Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and the whole Google trying to kill this thing. Just what's going on in the world, folks? That's all I want to know. What's going on in the world? I really don't understand it anymore. So, yeah. Okay, so at this point, I'm probably going to go ahead and start shutting stuff down here. Actually, there was one song that I played today that I really, really liked. I'm going to go ahead and take us out with that one. And we will be back tomorrow over on the BTR platform. That one will not be available on the K98 Talk website until the show is completed. I will then get it moved over to Spreaker, which will automatically upload it to the show page. So either check us out live on BTR or catch us on the replay on the website. We're good either way, folks. It has been my pleasure. Again, thanks to everybody who's coming in and checking it out. And if you like what we do here, make sure you're checking things out as often as possible. We are going to be adding new content, new shows, new hosts every day, because it's what I got to do to survive.
The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.
Just in case I face another wrong way, I feel I have to say, go, don't want to run away. No, I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mind full mission, but I can't do it right. I hope the same ain't down and let me know what it's like. Maybe then we'll get some rest. Forget what you like. I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mind full mission, but I can't do it right. I hope the same ain't down and let me know what it's like. Maybe then we'll get some rest. Forget what you like. So my walls away. Now my way is safe. And then I found my place. I'll have a big display. I feel I have to say, go, just wanna run away. Maybe then you'll get some rest. I got a red motorcycle that I drive at night. I got a mind full of mischief, but I can't do it right. I hope the same age on and never know what it's like. Maybe then you'll get some rest. Forget what you like.
I'm not afraid to take a stand, take a stand. Everybody, come take my hand, come take my hand. We'll walk this road together through the storm, whatever weather, cold or warm. Just letting you know that you're not alone.
You're listening to America Off the Rails with Double R, right here on the Common Ground Media Network.
The evolution of talk radio has begun. You are listening to K98Talk.com.